Hey guys, it's me, Travis with DFSkarma.com. This is week 4 for Scoopin Shares. Now, this is a weekly podcast we do focusing on the Jock Market app. It's one of our partners, and it's a very unique game that you can play in the DFS space. So, first things first, if you don't have an account yet, you probably should stop watching this because this video is not going anywhere. This podcast isn't going anywhere. Stop the video. Go to jockmkt.online. So it's pronounced jockmarket.online, but it's jockmkt.online. Use promo code Karma when you deposit. Get 2 bonuses. The first one is a 100% match up to $100. The second one is a $100 money back guarantee. I'm pretty sure out of all the DFS platforms out there, they're the only person doing a money back guarantee. And so what that means is if you play in a cash market, which is what we're going to go over and review here from week 3. If you play in a cash market and you lose anywhere from $1 to up to $100, they will, in the first time you play in a cash market, they will refund you up to $100. So if you deposit $100, you get a $100 match, and now you're at $200. Let's say you play 100 of that in the cash market for week 4, whether it's Thursday Night Football, main slate, late slate, Sunday night, Monday night, any of the markets. If you lose every single penny, which first off is impossible, you can't lose all your money because you're always going to get paid back money based on the shares you have. It just depends on how much. But they will refund up to $100 of losses for your first cash market. Only company that's doing that. Only app's doing that. So this is a unique circumstance where you are watching DFS Karma content. You're in the Discord. You're listening to myself and T-Rex. But more often than not, it's very, very rare that you come across a content platform like DFS Karma that has the top 2 players on the app are part of the people in DFS Karma helping you play on this app. So T-Rex is the number 1 overall player on the app, and I'm the number 1 what's called the single player sniper for this app as well. On top of that, which you'll see when I pull up here on the screen, I actually took down you don't really call it a GPP because it doesn't really work in the same way like DraftKings or Owner's Box does. But I took down the entire app for the Sunday main market for the first time this season. And then T-Rex, of course, more often than not takes down the markets when I'm not doing business. So anyway, talking aside, if this is your first time watching this, I'm going to do some a few quick, this is how it works, tidbits. And then we'll get into showing what I did in week 3, and then what we're kind of looking at for week 4, and how I use this app in the first place. So this is the main market here for week 3. So what I'll start with first is I do very little research on Jock Market or any app that we play on. Almost zero research. All that I do is I take the Karma projections. I take our lineup optimizer projections. I take the Karma projections on our projections portals that is part of our premium subscription. I don't do any kind of outside research. I just take the numbers, the fantasy scoring predictions, the prop predictions we have on Bet Karma app. I take these numbers and then I make decisions solely based on those numbers. And then way more often than not, it works out in my favor. So I'm not someone who's going through and scouring through millions of points of data. I just literally take the projections that's part of DFS Karma, and then I make decisions solely based on that. So for Jock Market, I do the exact same thing. I'll have the Jock Market player pull up, and then I'll also have the DFS Karma lineup optimizer up, and then I just compare. Now, when I say compare, this is exactly what I'll do. So let's go to Thursday night market, Thursday night football market. Where's that one? Let me find it here. So they have a market, every single slate they have a market for. So here this is tomorrow night's market. Sorry. So you're joining this right here. So what they have here, you see where it says sorted by projected fantasy points? This is where they think all of the, based on their own projections, where they think the scoring leaders are going to be. So they're saying that Joe Burrow is going to score the most points. Jamar Chase is going to score the second most points. Tua third, Joe Mixon fourth, Tyree Kill fifth, and then so on. So this is the order. When you see this and you make sure it says sorted by projections, this is where they think it's going to finish. So Joe Burrow, if he finishes first, every share you have of Joe Burrow gets paid out $25 a share. Then it goes to 20. Then depending on the slate, you can go either 18 or 16. So each of these have its own predetermined payout based on their projections. So what I do is I take the Jock Market projections on where they think all the players are going to finish, and then I take the DFS Karma lineup optimizer and I see, okay, is there somebody that the optimizer is saying is really high and that Jock Market has, really low. Typically in the top 10, you're not going to find any crazy differences besides maybe 1 to 2 spots difference, but that's what I focus on mainly, especially for the single game showdowns. So let's say, for example, let's just say for argument's sake, let's say Joe Mixon right now is 4th on Jock Market, but let's just say, I don't have it pulled up this second, but let's say the lineup optimizer has Joe Mixon as the number 1 most favored, or not most favored, number 1 scoring, projected scoring player. Well, if our stuff, which is way better than the projections you get on this app, is saying Joe Mixon's number 1, then I'm going to definitely target Joe Mixon, because there's so many people that play this app that solely rely on the data on the app. So they see, okay, Joe Burrow's projected to finish the most, so this is how much I'm going to bid on him. This is where I think he's going to finish. I don't know what the percentage is, but not everybody that plays this game uses outside projections, which is where we have the edge at all of Carbonation has the edge for. So in my example, if Joe Mixon's the number 1 on the lineup optimizer and I see he's number 4 here, I'm going to click this star, and what it's going to do is going to save him as a favorite. So let's go back to the main market here. So what I do is I go through, I do the exact same thing. I compare where is the lineup optimizer ranking players 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots higher than Jock Market's projections is ranking them. So then I click this little star button here. And so this is all of the people that I had starred for the main slate. So I had all of these players starred. So these were on my short list, my watch list. And what I do if you join the free chat room is in the NFL Jock Market channel, as soon as I go through Sunday morning and I find my short list, I take a screenshot and I throw it in there so you guys know exactly the people that I'm targeting. Now, of course, you see that I didn't have shares of every single one of these players. It all depends on how high they're getting bid on, where my personal preference is on them on my short list. But as you see, I got 100 shares of Mac Hollins, who was extremely cheap. He was only $1.96 per share. So for me to get 100 shares, it cost me $196 out of my bankroll. He finished 4th overall in scoring. So I paid $196 for 100 shares. After all is said and done, because he finished so high, those 100 shares were $1,600 that got paid to my bankroll, which was a $1,404 profit. So just on this guy alone, I turned $196 from buying 100 shares into $1,404, which was a huge part of my surplus. Derrick Henry was somebody I was targeting as well based on the lineup optimizer. Because he was more expensive, $5.78, I only got 50. I paid $289 for those. Because he finished 11th overall, he had a pretty good game. I got a $286 profit. Then T-Rex, the number 1 player on this app, who I'm gunning for, I'm trying to get that spot. He had put me on Romeo, so I bought 100 shares of him for $208. Total price, he finished 22nd, which paid out $750 for a $552 profit. Now, you see I did have some other stuff that did not win me money, that lost value. Oops, let me go back one, sorry. But because these guys did so great, you see here in the far right, my total profit for Sunday main slate. So this is not my total money I got back. After all the money that I spent, my bankroll was paid, my account was paid $3,486 for a total profit of $1,934.88, which actually, you see here on the leaderboard, was number 1 overall. So there's not a single person on planet Earth that made more profit for the Sunday main slate based on their bids and their shares and everything than myself. BetCommer.com is my account name there. So that's all I do. I look at what the projections are for the game itself, the Jock Market projections. I take the lineup optimizer, and I simply compare the two. Now, tomorrow, I'm recording this on Wednesday because typically we do this show on Thursdays, so if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, which you definitely should by now, there's a hurricane looming. I'm in Central Florida, so the hurricane's probably a good chance to knock out power, so that's why I want to record it right now. Get it out. I could lose power as I'm saying this right now. Who knows? But yeah, so Thursdays we're going to try to do these videos. T-Rex is usually on them, but because I'm recording this on Wednesday because I had to expedite it due to the hurricane, that's why you don't hear him on this podcast here. Looming around in the background. But Thursday, tomorrow slate, Thursday, the Dolphins play the Bengals. that slate, which I just had pulled up here, right here. I'm going to unstar Joe because I didn't actually do any research yet. But I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with Tua. So I'm not going to like make any decisions right now because if Tua doesn't play, that changes the projections of everybody. If Tua does play, knowing that he plays, then I'll know what to target. So typically, I can look at this the day before and kind of get a good idea, but I usually don't really bother with my comparison stuff that I do until, I don't know, on Sunday. It's like after we do the podcast. So our live stream on Sunday, which you definitely want to make sure you tune into, is 11 a.m. Eastern time to 12 p.m. Eastern time, so an hour before lock. The lock for Jock Market on main slate Sunday is 12:30, so I have from 12 to 12:30 just do my comparison, get my research, make my short list, and then start my bidding process. If you're like, okay, this sounds very interesting, I feel like I can win a lot of money on this, which yes, you can. This is one of the easiest things to do because you're not competing against anybody else. If you buy a guy at $1 per share and he finishes at $1.01 or $1.50 per share, you win. Like all you have to do is have your shares finish at a spot that pays out a higher per share than what you paid for them. But there's a lot of videos we have on this YouTube channel. There's a lot of articles we have on how to play, and a lot of tools that help you. A lot of Jock Market specific tools that help you understand this game and play this game better. So, I'll pull up the optimizer real quick here. I think I have it pulled up. Yes. So I'll pull it up real quick for this this game tomorrow, and I'll see if just right off the bat if there's anything that stands out as a difference. Okay, so right off the bat, I noticed that Tyree Kill for our lineup optimizer, Tyree Kill is the number 2 overall scoring player for this single game showdown, and you saw that he was 5th overall. So that's definitely a pretty good target there. Let me see if there's anything else here real quick. Joe Burrow's 1, Tua is 3, Mixon's 4, Tyree Kill's 5, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Boyd. Chase Edmonds is above Boyd. So Chase Edmonds is a slightly more favored on our lineup optimizer, so I'll tag that. But the other thing you want to target too, which is something that T-Rex in our Discord always harps on, is you want to target the people that are extremely cheap. So the worst case scenario is your guy finishes with 0 points and finishes in last place. But in last place, every share gets paid out $1. So if you buy a share of somebody that's $1.10, like $1.10, and he finishes in last place, you only lose 10 cents. So if you get 100 shares, you're not losing that much money because you only bought them so cheap. So you can actually take a lot of risk on those stupid cheap guys. And let's say, Alec Ingold probably isn't going to go for that much, the fullback for the Dolphins. But let's say he gets, a red zone carry, or he's part of the passing game. But let's say he gets a red zone carry on, 3rd and 1 or something, gets in the end zone, finishes at a high enough spot where he gets paid out at $3 a share. Let's say you only bought him for $1 a share. You just made a $2 share profit. So if you have $100 or 100 shares of them, that's a $300 profit or $200 profit, $300 payout. Take risk on the cheap guys, and then focus on using our tools to figure out who's the biggest differences on the more expensive people. But that's the gist. And I'm trying to think here. So I'm pretty sure for the main slate, we try to do some like follow-up podcasts when we have time to, but I don't think for this week we'll be able to, especially with this looming hurricane. But if you have any questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask in the Discord channel specifically. It's a free channel open to everybody called NFL Jock Market. So NFL Jock Market. It could be Jock Market NFL. One of the two. But ask questions in there and I'll answer them throughout the weekend here. But we had a Carbonation Takedown, week 3, courtesy of myself. And we're going to try to do the same thing here for the Thursday night market, the main market, the Sunday night market, and then the Monday night market again. But that is Scoopin' Shares week 4. If you have any questions, let us know. Until next time, deuces.